Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It's October 13th, Friday the 13th. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yesterday, kind of went a little higher, then dropped pretty hard, and now we are down this morning. We were down but more, but that's how we kind of stand right now. Okay. Um, Bunch of earnings today, bank earnings, bunch of beats. No surprise there. And United Healthcare beat earnings as well. I'm not gonna lie, that makes me a little happy. And let's get into this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market, along with gamma exposure levels, supply and demand, and the most traded price of the week, the month, the year, and of the day, of the previous day. And you always want to stay with the strength in the market, right? Now, I did mention yesterday that we were approaching a trend line in the Qs. You had overhead, you had the most traded price of the year still acting as resistance, and we needed some type of balance or some type of something to pull back because we've been on a tear. Okay, so that kind of happened. That did happen. All right. So let's get into the watch list here. Okay, I'll get into the watch list. All right. And see what we have going on. Right now, the VIX back over 16. All right, up 4.61%. Crude putting sanctions on Russian oil. Skyrocketed crude is up 4.14%. Silver, okay, silver's catching a bid, up 2.3%. Okay, this war, people are flocking to the metals. Gold, up 1.53%. Now here's a big one, right? 30-year bonds are being bought, up 1.29%. Okay, if you look at a bond chart, it was almost yesterday went back down. Now this could possibly rip the sellers' faces off today if this continues. Okay, Ether up 1.15, Bitcoin's up 0.56. The Dow, okay, Dow's up. It's pretty much flat, up 0.02. Reason why is United Healthcare is the largest holding in the Dow, and that beat earnings. And right now that's up 1.23% pre-market. Okay, 10-year yield doesn't report to 8.20, but I would suspect the 10-year yield will be down. The dollar is flat. The Russell is slightly down to flat. ES is down 1.3. Okay, the Nasdaq is the big one. Okay, that is down 0.4. Okay, that's down 0.4. All right, let's move on to the stocks I like to swing and day trade. Okay, JP Morgan, all right, they beat. They're up 1%. Okay, now from there on, everything's negative. So let's go into the big boys. We got Tesla. Tesla is down 0.82. Meta is down 0.85. Okay, Netflix, okay, is down 1.9. Netflix is getting hammered. Okay, now it's below, way below the 200-day moving average. Okay, Boeing's down 2.3. Now let's get into some what happened with Netflix. Netflix just got a downgrade and got a price target lowered, so it's getting kind of hammered right now. Okay, what else? Applied Materials got an upgrade to a buy. United Healthcare beat earnings. Right, we talked about the BlackRock beat earnings. JP Morgan beat. Wells Fargo beat. Fortinet, cybersecurity stock, got a downgrade. So we might see cybersecurity stocks in sympathy be negative. Okay. Now Boeing has a production defect. production defect, which is sending this stock down. Okay, and it just made a nice move, almost all the way up to 200, and now it's pulling back. I'm really interested to see if Boeing can hold 190. Okay, Boeing's been beaten down, made a little bit of a comeback. Now it's got some negative news. Okay, and let's see what it does at around 190. Okay, moving on to top sector stocks. Okay, Chevron getting love because of crude. United Healthcare is up 1.3, beat earnings. Sympathy play again, Exxon. Okay, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, financials, right? And then you don't really have much negatives here except Qualcomm's only down 0.21. Okay, moving on to sectors. Sectors, energy, no surprise there, up 1.36. Financials up 0.3, no surprise there. Utilities, remember, very beaten down sector. Okay, negative sectors really is semis, not real, down slightly. Discretionary, down 0.27. And technology is the weakest, which is the largest sector in the S&P 500 is technology. Okay, 28% of that S&P 500. Okay, so it's pretty important that it's down. Okay, so let's get into some news that I probably already covered. Okay, so we can briefly go over this. So let's go here. All right, so we got JP Morgan. Also, Microsoft, the deal cleared. The Activision deal cleared by Britain. Okay, United Healthcare beat earnings. Talked about the BlackRock beat earnings. Wells Fargo beat. Okay, then we have. I'm just trying to really see. That's kind of the big news. Actually, JD.com actually got a couple downgrades. Okay, that's a Chinese e-commerce giant. Just trying to see here if there's anything of the note. Not really. Not really. Let's look at the calendar together. What we have today is Fed Harker at 9 a.m. and we have a bunch of Michigan numbers out. The most important is the Michigan consumer sentiment, right, at 10 a.m. But if I put this to lower impact, see at 10 a.m. it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things of news. Don't enter a trade at 10 a.m. Just stay away at 10 a.m. Okay, let that volatility hit and then reset. That's really it for news, I would say. We can get right into the daily charts, because that's where I want to focus today. Okay, now looking at the SPY. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, let's look at this SPY. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 days of buying, right? You've had a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, and a higher low. That's called one time framing. Okay, finally we broke a low. Now let's look at the structure, right? Where did we go to? Where did we go to? Last week's highs. That's where we went and got bought. Okay, no surprise there. 20 simple moving average, last week's highs. Okay, now we needed this. I talked about this yesterday. You don't go up forever. You need to eventually rest and consolidate. You got to move. Now we might rest, and when we rest, you're gonna break out, up or down. I would say more of a chance that we break out to the upside. Okay, we still have not filled this gap fully. Okay, still have the 100-day moving average above us, the 50-day moving average above us. You needed this. Okay, this could be fuel. So now we have shorts here, here, here. Okay, where's the SPY now? 433.27. 433.27, right about here. So you're in the like the lower third of yesterday's session. Okay. Now, you know you have shorts above now that could possibly fuel. Okay, so this could either do a couple things here. We could stay in this range, stay in this range, okay, or, well, stay in the range and move sideways, right? Or we go up. Now, there's going to be a day where we break out, obviously. All right, so that's the deal. You're gonna see here we're queuing up energy here. Okay, queuing up energy. Okay, lower third is fine right now where the market is, because if we're in balance, we're going to go to the top of this balance and we'll bounce a little bit until we decide to make the move. Okay, so now in the Qs, all right, sorry about that. We're going to go to the Qs now. Now, this is really important, right? I talked about this yesterday. I said be wary of this trend line. Okay, and look what happened. We hit it. That was resistance, right? We sold off from the trend line. Okay, this is a very clear and defined trend line. So that was why I wasn't crazy, even though the market opened here, pushed up, and then fell apart. I think it roped a lot of longs in here because I was not. I looked at it. I said, "Ooh, I did see the pullback to 371, and it went higher." You know why? Because look at this double top here. It took out it took out these shorts, right? That's what happened. It took out these shorts, which is fine, and then finally, boom, it sold off, right? And where did we go down to? We didn't go down to last week's highs. We went down to basically the 50-day moving average, right? And then we closed right up here. We closed right here at 369.83. Where are we now? 368.72. 368.72. We're at the lower third of the session. Okay, we're at the lower third, so we could take a rest. Made a big move. Need to take a rest a little bit. Doesn't mean it could be a rest for a day. It could be a rest for a week. And then you either break up, break out, or we go back down. Okay, that's really how that's going to work. Okay? So that's really what I'm looking at right now. So that's how the market works. You take a rest. You make a move. Right? Like this is considered the test out of this break, right? Test. And then look, see, you test it, and then you hold it, you make a move, and now look, we're going to rest again. Rest until we break out again, do another test, and break out. That's how the market works. That's pretty much the simple explanation there. So let's go over to the triple headed monster, and let's look at this crazy bond market. 10-year yield, right? So this is what I was talking about. This rise, right, which caused the market to fall. Now look, it's already dropped and falling. So if this gets taken out, these yields here, we could probably land at 4.4. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, right? Because right now the 10-year yield is down 2.16%. That's a pretty large drop. That could mean that the short sellers in the bonds that made this yields rise are going to be on their heels if you take out this low. Okay? So the farther we fall, the better for equities going up. Okay? Let's look at that VIX. Now the fear's back. Okay? Boom, went all the way up to 18 yesterday. Now we're at 17. Remember, 16 VIX is a 1% expected move in the SPX. Okay? Now, dollar. I talked about that 105.88 level. Okay, we ripped back above that level yesterday. Okay, with yields rising, dollar rising. So we're in between this range right here, 106.74 about, and then 105.88. So we're kind of consolidating here. You can see it. Really consolidating here. Okay, so you can see from this little move up, consolidate, break out, consolidate. Big range. Big range. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. All right, so that will take care of that. Now let's get into the my favorite for looking at structures, the volume profile and the market profile. Okay, let's look at that together. Now, what I want to start you with, this is futures. Okay, and this is just the real-time trading hour. It's like looking at a SPY chart on what I usually show you, right? This is not overnight activity. Look at this triple top here. Okay, this is the futures gap right here. I want to just point that to you. This is the futures gap right here to here. Tried once, tried twice, tried 3 times to fill that gap. There are shorts lined up in here. This is very weak, this high. So when and if the market decides to come back up to test this triple top, it might be the 4th time's a charm, and boom, you fill that gap, and that launches the market. Okay, so very, very important. Okay, so we came up from here, right? Pulled back, made the move, balanced, 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 right? You took out these lows here yesterday. Now the job of the market is to defend the 50% of this move and to hold in order to push. Okay, as long as we stay above the most traded price of the month, which is 43.24, that should be bullish. Okay, now let's move over to 24-hour charts, and we can see the overnight. That's not the overnight. We can see all the activity. Okay, we do our typical evaluation here. Okay, let's look at the profile together. So we have excess from this move. We have single prints here, small volume, emotional buying. Okay, distribution, we have another distribution, and we have tiny bit of excess. So the most traded price of the week is here, 4,400. Price, however, okay, is below that right here. But the important part is value is now higher. Okay, now the most traded price of the month is down here. Market stays above that, it will be bullish. Okay, that will be bullish. So I say 43.25 about right here. Okay, that will be bullish. This is more of a macro. This is the most traded price of the month. So you stay above here, that's a little more long-term bullish. Immediately you're under the most traded price of the week, which would be a short little term like bearish. Okay, so you're in between these two levels. Okay, now let's look at yesterday's big range. Okay, so we have yesterday's highs. Remember, right at that gap. We have yesterday's lows. Now what it did, see these single prints here? It cleaned some of them. It went into the single prints here, but then it found buyers. That's usually bullish. Okay, now we have single prints from yesterday. Emotional selling. Okay, all right, so this market right now has been a little bit of a buy the dip. This gives people an opportunity to reload. Okay, so yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows, overnight lows. Okay, overnight highs. Price is right here. So we're inside yesterday's session. Okay, inside, we're right at the close of yesterday, right here. So where we close is where we're at right now. That's not a lot of edge. Okay, so got supply zone right here. That's holding right now. Okay, so inside yesterday's range. Okay, at the close of yesterday, pretty much nothing's changed. Okay, inventory is very balanced. Okay, right, so inventory is very balanced. Okay, we know we have shorts from here and shorts from here, so this could be ripe for a little push down to go up. Okay, so let's look at the scenarios here. Okay, let's look at the scenarios. Okay, so for the bullish case, what you need to happen, this is what we need to happen. Okay, you prices here, you need to take out this supply zone. Probably going to clean these single prints. Okay, you need to take that out, clear that out, and then if you get some type of pullback, okay, some type of pullback. Now this is the 9 EMA daily and the 20 simple movers on the daily at futures. If you come back here and you start to hold, make higher lows, that could fuel this move. Okay, could go to the most traded price of the week and yesterday's most traded price and start to work your way to that crippled top. Now there's supply all around here. I would expect it would not be easy to just crush through that. But if it works its way, holds, works its way, you're going to launch. I don't know if that happens today. I really don't. Okay. Now, as far as the short side, okay, there's a lot of supply. You have supply here, here, and here. Okay. So, going long right off the bat is going to be a tough one. I would expect sellers to show up. Okay. Doesn't mean you can't. Just makes your road tougher. Okay. So, number one, we could be here. I could see definitely clean the singles, but then fail. You get some lower highs. You could start to test that overnight lows. Maybe go back to yesterday's lows, clean these single prints, and then you could possibly go down to the 100-day moving average on the futures or the most traded rate price. We could also make our way up, and try to break that for a fourth time and fail, and then you could probably balance in here somewhere. Okay, so that's that. Now, as far as that's the yes. Okay, let's go to the Nasdaq. All right, let's look at the Nasdaq. We can look at the real-time trading hours. So this is no overnight sessions. This is just real time. All right. So you can see we've moved up and we've held. We've held. Okay. Most traded price of the week's here. Most traded price of the month is 14870. Okay, so nothing to worry about. Even where we went and we broke these highs, we came back down, and look, we closed above the most traded price of the week. Okay, that's just the real time trading hours. Now let's look at what's going on in the overnight sessions. Let's look at the profile. Okay, so we have distribution here, then we have single prints, then we distribution, a little bit of low volume node. You look to the left, that should be support. Okay, then you got the most traded price of the week, and then we got a distribution and distribution. Okay, now the way you look at volume profile is most participants traded here. See that large volume? Then look, you get a low volume node and a little less. Then you got another and a little less. So the market was running out of participants. Okay. So that's that. Okay. Now, to note, we do now have a couple of key inflection points of the Nasdaq. Okay. You don't have that gap above like you do in the ES. ES really hasn't hurt the shorts as much right now like the Nasdaq has. All right, so what we have here is a weak low right off the bat. All right, you got the overnight low and yesterday's low are equal. Now, only weak hands buy those lows, not big boys. They don't care about overnight lows and yesterday's lows. They don't care about that. So that's weak hands. So what that means is shorts got poor location here. And they got hurt, right? They couldn't go lower. So then the longs stepped in, right? So you have longs here. So this is very susceptible to get broken. Now it could hold, but it's very susceptible. If we come back here again, it could break and maybe bring us down here with these single prints still. Okay. All right. So now look at the difference here. Most traded price of the week's here. Price is above it. Most traded price of the year is here, and we're right here. This is why I'm not a big fan of Nasdaq today. But it could be. You're just in the middle of these big levels. Okay. Remember, you had that trend line above, which we hit and came off. Okay. Let's look at this yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Now we got the week low here, overnight lows there too, overnight high. Okay. So most of the volume you can see overnight has been concentrated right here. And prices right here. Okay. I'm not in love with where it is, but we are going to go kind of inside out here. We're going to go one way or the other. Okay. Now you have demand down here and supply here and here. Okay. So inventory doesn't matter. We're pretty much in the middle of the session. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Single prints from yesterday here. All right, so let's look at some scenarios here. Pretty simple. Okay, if you're a bull and these dips continue to get get bought, right? So you got your weak low here. So what I would like to see is for the market to push up, come back down. Now either test that again and you get a higher low because you're in demand, right? And you can move back up here, try to take the supply out, clean these single prints, and try to make yourself up to the most traded price of yesterday, right? That's one. You come down here also and boop, come down, take these single prints out, okay? And there's more single prints, okay, down here. That could really fall out of bed. But let's say you come into here and you defend those singles, that's bullish. And there you go. You got liquidity from the shorts here and the shorts here. And now, like I said, we can either balance. We can come up here like this and probably do this. Okay. Now, as far as the short goes. Okay, supply here. You could definitely, come down here. Boom, come up to this supply and you could roll over and take out this level, and then this, if it's really weak, you're going to come back down and you might test the 20 simple day moving average down here. Okay. Also, prices here, you can move up into this supply, into yesterday's most traded price, get some failure, and also fail, but then maybe you balance around here. Okay. Like I said, there's a lot of big levels around the Nasdaq. You hit a trend line. You made some big moves. Remember, the SPY hasn't made that big push like the Nasdaq has. Nasdaq's filled its gap. It's just hurt a lot of shorts. But the SPY, remember, it's got a lot of moving parts to it. It's got a lot of different sectors in it. It's not just tech. So it just can't move freely. It needs all the sectors to be like pushing hard. So that's what's going on. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Subscribe, set an alert. Right? If you enjoyed what you saw, give me a like. Okay? That would help me out. All right, you could always follow me at X at Gonzo719. All right. Now we have a plan here. Now I have to admit today, those big levels in the middle of the Nasdaq, I don't love that. But since the price is there, we're gonna push away from that price. All right. So you have the week low. That's very important in the Nasdaq. Okay. I almost look forward to that to get broke a little bit. And guess what? That's gonna happen. That's gonna trap some shorts. People are gonna think the market's falling apart. And if the internals and everything doesn't look that weak, that's a good chance to go to reversal and go to the other end. Okay? Now, we could just fall. That's why you have to just wait for the market to give you information. Okay? Now, we have that triple top in the SPY or in the ES. Triple top. That's pretty susceptible to get broken. I don't know when, but more than not, it probably will get broken. Don't know when, right? But if it does, it's going to cause huge short covering. Okay? So that's it for me. I wish everybody much luck today. Well, I don't know if luck's the good word, but stay green. Stick to a plan, right? It's not always easy to do that. So everybody have a good weekend, and I will see everybody back on Monday.